Had for over 10 years. Sorry, but I know the video just cut out. It does that when the phone jumps to the Mexican towers. I really, really hate that. I get a warning pop up and it stops videos. I really need Samsung to fix that. I don't actually care that I'm roaming. Like that, I'm gonna be honest with you guys. That Samsung pop up, and I know you guys can't see, that thing has literally almost killed me a few times. That thing pops up at the wrong moment when I'm doing things that are quite important. But anyway, it's kind of my office. I come sit in here. I'm not even sure what I can really show, but my workbench is next to me, and I've got a lot of things on there that would be community violations, so I can't really show you. When you live in the wild, you got to have the tools that you need in the wild, and most people live in suburbia, so community violations on all these platforms cater to those who live on grid and safer communities. If you feel financial banks running our world safe. But anyway, so I can't really show you that. But I mean, I've got my welding stuff. I've got my clippers. Usually when I sit here in the morning, and I'm kind of looking at the table. I wish I kind of could remove some of the stuff I'm not supposed to show. I'll just show you in general. Blah 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 blah. It's got a lot of stuff on there. And so I clean my tools, because you always got to make sure you got a clean tool out here. You never want to get into a scenario where you need a tool and it does not work, especially a tool that's used in emergencies that you carry on your hip. So I got that. I got my shaving stuff. I shave every morning. Did not shave this morning yet. I got my little crimpers I use for, this is actually used for grafting trees, but I'll explain that later. I use it mostly for scarifying seeds because I'm planting seeds. The most important tree out here to me are mesquite, palo verde, and they're lucina. I forgot exactly what species of lucina. But anyway, they grow really, really well out here, including fig. A lot of these come back. There's another tropical I have that grows and dies back in the winter, comes back, but it's got a full root system, so it grows really fast. I forgot the name of it. It might be the Chinese princess, the tree, the common name. But anyway, so I sit here, I scarify seeds, because I'm always planting every single day, and I always put trees in the ground. I plant in what I'm calling a seed bomb method, where I don't plant one seed in a hole. I plant multiple seeds in a hole. I plant what I'm eating for that year. I try to plant a perennial bush that will come back for next year, and I plant a tree that over the long term, multiple years, will be shade, and that area will be reclaimed, and desertification in that area, bringing the shade, which you guys, if you know about that, will have been done. So putting a forest out here is what I do. So I plan my day out, is the point. I sit here. I don't turn on the TV because I don't watch TV, but I got a big, massive, that was that 55, 60-inch screen TV I've got mounted in the greenhouse, where eventually I'll show images or something behind me. I want to get to a place where I can do regular videos in a format that's easy for people to digest the information. I don't know how to do that yet, but I'm working out some thoughts that I have. And I got my laptop in front of me. And so I sit here, I drink my coffee. I'll check the weather, because the weather determines what I can do and what should be a priority. If it's going to be hot, what I can do, I've got to get done early in the day or later in the afternoon. If it's going to be rainy, I usually start working on waterworks, getting ready for pumping water out of the dammed areas and the arroyos into the ponds. Prepping the greenhouse. I have not solidified on a greenhouse roof. I've only decided we're not going to run with plastic long term. Not in greenhouses that people live in, anyway. Plastic is fine, but the sun out here is real hard on plastic. You can buy real high quality plastics that they say last 10 years, and you might get 10 years out of it, but the wind is not going to see it that way. The sun may not do the damage through UV, but the wind is going to get you. So it's just, to me, I don't think it's worth it out here to have a plastic roof. So the plastic roof on the greenhouse is coming down, and there are some new plans for a different roof. But anyway, and so I look at the weather. I go through my priorities and temperature. That determines what I'm doing a lot for the day. What broke yesterday determines that as well. What's got to get fixed, prerequisites. So I brought all that corporate America stuff with me in terms of planning my day out. And once I have my priorities set, then that determines the clothes I wear. So yes, I sit bucket naked in the greenhouse, drinking my coffee till I decide what I need to get done for the day. Um, we won't go through vitamin D3, and the only way you can get into your immune system is through your skin. We won't go through all that. You can look that up if you want. But everybody should spend a at least a good hour every single day in the sun, and their body just taking in natural sunlight. Anyway, and so today I've decided. Oh goodness gracious! No, I shouldn't do that. I just thought about that. You can't really tell people where you're going to be and what you're doing. But if I were driving the Bobcat in the morning, which I very rarely do, because I can drive the Bobcat in the heat of the day and remain cool. I do need to work on the Bobcat a little bit today, so I want to spend about 2 hours working on some new dams. Um, but if I were doing these other things, so if I were riding the Bobcat in the morning, I'd be putting on my tennis shoes, because you don't drive the Bobcat too well in boots. This is a very small Bobcat. It's a poor man's machine. One day when I grow up, I'll buy me a rich daddy Bobcat. But right now, I got a poor man's Bobcat. But she is a mule. She kicks butt. You know, I spend a lot of time repairing her. But they never make anything the way they used to. No computers, nothing of that. It's a battery, an engine, hydraulic pump, and that sucker just does what she's supposed to do. Heavy piece of equipment. Love her to death. Even though she was made before I was born. But I wear tennis shoes. If I were working in the desert, if I were working on check dams or in the arroyos, or in the bush, I'd be wearing my boots. The boots with very thick soles. Mosquitoes can go through your boots. I've already had multiple mesquite thorns through my feet, and I prefer not to do that again. One went all the way, well, went so deep in, my sandals stuck to my foot. That's all the blood poured out. You don't want to do that again. So if I'm going to be out, in the wild where I haven't cleared area, stepping on mesquite and ocotillo, I definitely want to have on boots at the base that have very thick rubber. If I'm doing mechanic work underneath heavy things, working with heavy things, I always wear my steel-toed boots. If it's in snow, obviously, or not snow, or early in the morning when there can be snow on the ground, which is very rare, I do have snow boots. If it's going to be raining, I have boots that I prefer to wear in the rain, plus preparing by my poncho. And by poncho, I mean trash bag with 3 holes. And that is the best thing that works out here. Because when it rains and I'm documenting the river flows, the arroyos, and I'm planning and determining on where the next pond should be and how big the flows are, I'm running and jumping, and y'all see, I think you've seen the videos of me running through the arroyos. And when I do it, or when I do it with my sons, we're just ripping to heck whatever you're wearing. So you don't want to wear a nice raincoat. You don't want to wear a nice poncho. You need to wear something that gets ripped up running through thorns, jumping over rivers, not being able to walk in certain paths that you can throw out or use as a trash bag. Everything out here we reuse, and most of those ponchos get reused as a trash bag to get stuff out here back to town. But that's kind of how my day starts. Coffee, plan, weather, and then I get started with the day. And usually the dogs, the chickens, something breaking just changes the priority. But that's okay. Out here it is exciting. So I'm gonna get to it today. I got a lot of things I got to do today. I do got to get some water. I'm still getting water from a distance, unfortunately. But this is the water year where we know how to make dams, and we're making them. And we're able to pump the water to the ponds, but on the weekends, have to have a different method of getting water. So until we are sustainable on water, which I'm hoping will be this year, I do grab water, which means the trailers like to break. I've got 2 functioning trailers now. All 3 were broke like a week ago. And I just did the plan this morning to fix the next one, the 3rd one. Because the dogs have a pond that they love. It's been real hot, so their pond is getting kind of low, so I want to top it off. But we are possibly getting rain tomorrow, so I got to work on the ducks for the greenhouse, and the ducks for the shed, and the ducks for the little greenhouse as well, in preparation to collect as much water as possible. Okay, well, this has been like a 15-minute video already. I'm not trying to put too much in, But my day pretty much is the same day I had in corporate America. I wake up, I get my coffee, I start planning what I got to get done for the day, and I go out and get as much of that done as possible. And whatever I don't get done falls into the next day. And yeah, I try to be organized as I go about it. So anyway, I'm gonna get to it. And if I run into anything interesting today, I shall post it. I think I still have some unposted videos from yesterday. Oh, and I didn't give you a follow-up. So the truck is fixed. I've got her, put the strut on there, got it out of the desert. Apparently that truck had I guess a 2-inch lift on it. They have lifter plates, I believe that's what it is, underneath the strut, if I'm saying that right. So the truck's a little wonky, which is okay. It cuts into the wind better. So it's a little wonky. And so I need to put the riser plate under there, but I got 3 longer bolts or a different strut to make that work. But that's not something that I need to do right now. So, once again, when you live on a priority list, you want to make sure that the priority is at the top, and the truck doing that isn't that much of a priority. 90% of the driving I do is on the ranch, so it's not out on the road, so I'm not worried about that. So the truck is good. Yeah, but it's going to have a long-term fix, and I'm not sure when that's going to happen. I either need to replace the strut that I put on, the emergency strut, to get it out of the bad spot it was in, or I need to replace the other side, and that's going to determine if I want to go for a higher lift, use the same lift, or have no lift. And out here, you want to have lift. If you're driving around, like when I first came here, I had my SUV. No, baby, I didn't know it's not going to work. And that's what one of the ranchers told me. You want to get yourself a nice pickup truck with a nice rise, a good lift. If you can get 8 or 12 inch above what's out here, you can pretty much get into a lot of the areas as long as you avoid the mesquite. The mesquite will pop any tire that you can make. I have a friend that does a road, drives a heavy piece of equipment, and even he is scared to drive over mesquite. Mesquite are incredibly horrible. In fact, I'll show you one of the thorns, and I get out of here. Blah, 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 blah. So the truck is good to go. You want to get yourself a pickup truck, so you can get in most spots, but you're still going to have to avoid mesquite. And I've had Ocotillo pop tires as well. If you ask me how many tires have I flattened and popped out here, I will say I don't have any idea. No clue. All I know is you always want to have a tire plug kit with you and get used to it until you've got nice clear roads, or until the wind comes in and blows more mesquite into your path. But see, the thing about mesquite is that these are the thorns that come off of them. So the biggest one, I think here is about 6 inches. We're probably that sucker right there. But the others on the other side, the branch form a tripod. So when your truck rolls over it, it braces itself to make sure the thorn goes in the tire. I mean, that's not what it's trying to do, but that's what actually happens. Or the side rail of your tire, sidewall. Why did I go through all of that? Oh, just to say, yeah, I had that SUV and she's still out there. In fact, I need to go ahead and start her and keep her going. But again, there's a difference between living out here and thriving out here. You want to get the equipment that allows you to thrive out here. A lot of the SUVs just don't have what it takes. And I didn't want to hear that when I first heard it, but that is just a fact. A lot of them are made on car chassis. They're made for luxury and riding. Out here is rough terrain. If you don't have true off-road tires and a true off-road vehicle, you're going to run into a lot of trouble. And you don't want to spend so much time fixing things as you do building a place that you can thrive and be happy in. All right, so that's about it for this video. I'll do a series of upgrade or update videos to try to show everybody where we are with everything, like the shower and the kitchen and the bathroom, and even the power system. I've done upgrades on in the last year, all the ponds and dams. I might document them all separately because they all have kind of separate designs. But anyway, this is Gerard doing my part of Green in West Texas. I'm gonna feed the koi and get started with my day. Cause, oh no, I'm not gonna feed them. They're not looking at me like I'm crazy. Usually when I come down the steps, they look at me like I'm crazy, but they're not. They're just chilling. They've already eaten this morning, so they're good to go. This is how I do a lot of my propagation. The sugar cane's actually growing pretty good outside. The best one is in the aquaponics system. There's mint over there. I think this is tomatoes. I'm just rooting them. Sometimes I forget about them, plant them around the pond. But anyway, I'll show you more of that later. Y'all have a wonderful day. Let's get it. There's always something that happens out here. There's never a boring day out here. It's Gerard. Catch y'all later.